Hello, everybody, and welcome to yet another movie commentary with me, Captain Psychopath, and the always lovely
Josh Eliot.
Yes. And today, we're taking a look at a classic. Switchcraft. What inspired you to make this film?
Well, I'd been wanting to make this movie for a long time, actually. In the back of the 1970s, I think I was around 12 or whatever, this movie came on the ABC Movie of the Week called The Girl Most Likely To. And it starred a teenage Stockard Channing from Grease fame. And it was written by Joan Rivers.
Ooh.
And it was about this girl who was bullied at school. And she has a terrible accident and gets plastic surgery and becomes beautiful. And she exacts her revenge on all the students who tormented her, basically. And it really stuck with me.
Get up, you lazy cow. Where's my breakfast?
It looks like you're already drinking it.
Don't get smart with me. While your mother's away, it's your job to cook for me.
I'll be late for school.
Well, that's just too fucking bad. Why do you need school for anyway? No one in their right fucking mind would ever hire a blob.
Okay, so this is the scene where she wakes up with a foot up her nose, and it's her stepfather, who's right off the bat, she's being tormented and bullied by him.
It's so fucking abusive.
Well, I know. Well, it was, 1999. It was a different time. I apologize to anyone who was bullied. I mean, I was bullied myself as a child, in certain instances here or there. And, when I look at it now, the bullying is a little intense. So I apologize for that. But it kind of makes it fun, too.
Over the top. So it's so over the top. It becomes funny.
Yeah.
But if I went to this school, I would not be alive anymore.
Well, I'm telling you, in this school, as you're going to find out as we proceed on, the teachers are worse than the students. They're just vicious.
Miss Simplestein?
So here we have Tina Tyler as Miss Swallow, or Ms. Swallow. And that's Edwina Simplestein, who we saw in the first scene. And she's just the outcast. And Miss Swallow kind of takes advantage of that to kind of become popular with the other students, so she can kind of have her way with them later on in the movie.
Everyone is being so... everyone at this school is just ganging up on poor Edwilla.
Edwilla? Godzilla. Edwiener. She's a wiener. Okay, so that's Mark Jensen, from a director from Catalina. Was on the crew doing second camera.
And he's also done quite a few cameo appearances.
A few cameo appearances. We've got Marcus Kane right behind Shishi there. Drew Andrews next to him.
Don't take kindly to it.
Hey, her name should be Edwina Simplestein.
So that's Jeff Burton, photographer. Peter Romero was sitting right in front of him. We don't have a budget for extras, so we just throw ourselves in at any given moment.
You're doing a pretty good job, honestly. I mean, they don't really look like high schoolers, but I'll take it.
You know what? They didn't in the movie Grease either,
Yeah, nobody looks like they're in high school in movies.
Well, especially Edwina. I mean, so here's where the first bullying starts. He falsely, under the false pretenses, wants her to sign his yearbook while he steals a piece of her letterhead.
That's good enough.
And then Marcus behind him is writing something on the letterhead that you're going to see is going to blow up in Edwina's face.
But you asked me!
Now I gotta ask, Edwina's hair.
Punishment been enough?
I had absolutely nothing to do with that hair. I kind of left it to Shishi and the makeup. I didn't know anything about that hair or see that hair until she stepped on the set out of makeup.
It's a fucking impressive piece of hair. I think it might be a wig, but anyway, it looks like a beehive.
It is impressive, but what's more impressive is that shot we just saw where that airplane landed right on her desk.
How many takes did that take?
That was one take.
Whoa.
So this says Miss Swallow eats, I'm not going to say, from Dirty,
Something
I'm not going
naughty.
to say.
Yeah,
Now this is a good little scene between the two. So let's listen in on here.
Dare you write this?
Oh, no, I couldn't. I wouldn't. I said,
You've just landed yourself in detention.
Miss Challenger's detention. Class dismissed.
Mr. Ross, Mr. Hall.
Miss Challenger's detention is going to be Sharon Kane, who you'll see in a moment.
Oh. You know we love us some Sharon Kane on this channel.
Before I cram this paper airplane down your throat.
And there will be a paper airplane down the throat later.
This guy's got some amazing legs, I gotta say.
You know, isn't that the typical gym teacher? And this music, I have no idea where this music came from. You hear that weird music?
I'm a student.
We didn't have much choice back then. This must have been like the squirreliest piece of music I could find.
It works. It reminds me of like, I don't know, a video game maybe?
Saturday morning television.
I mean, I'd watch this on a Saturday morning.
I particularly love the hair sticking out of the wart on her face. That's some real good makeup.
So Sharon Kane.
Sharon Kane. You know, Sharon Kane showed up to my house probably about 3 weeks before while I was writing the script. And she had this short haircut. And I'd never seen her in a short haircut. And I was originally going to base the gym teacher off the gym teacher in Carrie. But then when I saw the haircut, I kind of made her a little more butch. Let's listen.
Earth? This is some sort of joke, right? I mean, you don't expect me to work with this.
I beg your pardon?
You don't speak. How can they do this to me? I am this close to walking out on this job.
Be professional. This girl's in need of your help.
That face on Shishi. Oh, the poor thing.
The acting all around. Like, Sharon Kane is really good at being mean.
She's excellent at being mean. And so many different levels of mean. She has her Silly Fontana mean from Valley of the Bye Doll. She has this mean from here. And then Miss Swallow, of course. Miss Swallow is just the ultimate. This is one of my favorite shots in the whole movie. Right here.
Suppose you're wondering why I've asked you both to stay after class.
Looks like Miss Swallow's gonna swallow some stuff.
Miss Swallow's about to swallow something big. A couple of big things. You know, I worked with Tina Tyler in Revenge of the Bye Dolls a few years earlier. I don't know if you remember that movie, but she played this really nasty, druggy, alcoholic character. And her character in this just blew me away. She came with the accent. She came with the attitude, the personality. That's all her. When she started reciting those lines with that accent, it was like, it was brilliant. And she's really fantastic in this.
She's not British originally?
No, not at all.
Oh.
She's like from the Valley.
Oh, damn.
So this scene coming up here, if you remember the scene in Carrie where Betty Buckley, as the coach, punishes all the girls by making them come to school for detention, and it's going to be one of her detentions where she makes her make them work out pretty regularly, and then Nancy Allen smacks the gym teacher across the face. Well, I kind of flipped it. I took that scene. I've been wanting to do that scene forever in a movie. And I kind of took that scene and gave it a little flip here where Miss Challenger becomes the aggressor, not Nancy Allen student.
You are under my command. And I am going to work you until I drop.
Okay, so this here, the place where we shot this school, it was actually a studio, had several different rooms in it. That mat that we just saw in the overhead shot with like a lightning bolt on it, it's actually a Z because Daddy Zeus, I don't know if you've heard of Daddy Zeus Productions, but it was all these gay wrestling movies that the producer, Daddy Zeus, would release. And it'd be guys wrestling basically out of their clothes. And then, jerking off or whatever. And that mat was there. So when we went there to shoot the other scenes, I saw that mat was there. And that's how, because, usually when I'm writing a movie, it's like I'm kind of writing it as we go along. And that's why I came up with the idea of the two students wrestling, tormenting Edwina. And we happen to have those old wrestling uniforms from back like in the 80s in wardrobe at Catalina.
Yeah, they are beautiful. Oh yeah, I see you've cropped it in a little bit, yeah?
I had to crop a lot because it was kind of showing some beaver there. But it was really just like a piece of cut-up wig coming out of Shishi's underwear. Poor thing, my God, she's exhausted even though she's on her knees doing those push-ups.
Poor Shishi, getting a good workout.
Now, I love this scene with this is my favorite, is that chair. Look at the size of that chair compared to Shishi's body. It's classic. And that chair just happened to be sitting there. Why would there ever be a chair that small in the studio? I have no idea. I could have picked any chair, but when I saw that chair, I thought, oh my God. That chair and Shishi's giant body.
Yeah, like, why? That looks like a kindergarten chair. Why is that at a fucking adult studio place?
I have no idea. I have no idea at all.
Now, if you're familiar with Gachimuchi, wrestling is very big, so I think you might have inspired something. Oh, yeah. Gachimuchi Pantsu Wrestling is what it's called, so I think you might got a shot at it. But anyway, you can bring on the cool facts. I don't know what I'm saying anymore.
Look at that.
Well, this is one of my favorite scenes, where they see her sitting across the area. So I'm going to pull in here because you're not going to see the shots.
Oh, yeah,
we'll listen for a moment.
Anymore. She has let herself go completely, and there is nothing left to salvage.
Now here, he opens up the bottom of his gym uniform and is talking to her out of his butthole.
Sally, not everyone can have a perfect body. You're obsessed with tight, firm bodies.
You're damn right I am. You could bounce a quarter off these tits.
Yeah, and you can crack a walnut with your ass. I've heard it all before.
Edwina, honey, why don't you come over and give your mom a big
Butthole
kiss?
talking.
She repulses me.
Fuck you!
I don't believe it.
Oh, shit.
And then the reverse. The teacher slaps the student. So probably one of my favorite, and that took a few takes to nail that shot where she says the fuck you to the students, and then Sharon says her line because she thinks that Shishi yelled it to her. But I loved how that kind of just worked out and played out so well.
I also love that the wig somehow stays on.
I'm sure it didn't. I'm sure it came off a number of times while we were shooting those shots.
I gotta say, the male gym teacher is kind of a nice dude compared to everyone else in the movie.
Oh yeah, well that's why. You'll see the end, but at the end, Shishi ends up with him because he's the nice guy.
Ah, well, you know what they say, nice guys always get the girl.
Yeah, well what a girl.
I mean,
what a catch.
You take what you can get. I don't want to. No, that's too mean. That's too mean. I'm sorry.
I love these close-ups of these. He's so cute right there, and this is my favorite.
As long as it doesn't get around school.
I mean, that's so cute and like juvenile. Well, okay, I'm fine as long as it doesn't get around school.
All right, so Witchcraft comes into Switchcraft.
This comes into Switchcraft. It's a little incantation to make herself beautiful. We didn't know that she was practicing black magic before this, but evidently I guess she was.
Yeah, no, you just gotta, it's very subtle. You gotta pick up on it behind the scenes.
Yeah, it comes out of the blue. And then Switchcraft, the movie, I don't know if you remember, but the first Bai movie to come out that was really popular was called The Big Switch. So a lot of the times, it was one of the first most popular ones. And a lot of our movies would either have Bai in the title or Switch in the title. Like the switch is on. So that's how I got Switchcraft. Switch was always kind of a word that was associated with a Bai movie. So it'd either have Bai in the title or Switch in the title. So that's how I got Switchcraft. So this all here is a little cheesy. Wasn't, you know, the best.
The cheesiest. Well, good horror movies are always cheesy.
Yeah, but, you know, it always kind of bothers me to kind of see how this all played out. This little area here.
I'm beautiful. There. That's much better.
The makeup is a bit over the top, perhaps.
The makeup is ridiculous. I don't know.
I'm sorry. I thought you were Edwina.
The horny stepfather trying to
Thank
the
God
school
it's a stepfather.
classmates.
The library. She has an exam tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean, that makeup makes her look 10 years older.
It looks like she's been chain smoking.
I almost feel like maybe like we had like a guest makeup artist that day or something. Like, I don't know why that makeup looked like that.
Yeah, like I'm not a makeup expert, but the lipstick is way over the top, and the eyeliner or blush, I don't know what it's called, but eyeshadow.
She was the cutest girl. She is the cutest girl, and that makeup is so hard. So I don't know what happened, but actually she was, I think she was his girlfriend. She was his girlfriend, and that's she
so bad.
came into the set. Oh, I guess the spell wore off big time. So here is where she starts her role of exacting revenge.
Take it back! Oh, never, you thump!
And there we go, the first death of the movie.
First death of the movie. That's UCLA campus. That's old footage from my second movie I ever made in 1987 called Hard to Be Good. I just kind of would reuse the footage. We didn't have like a Pond 5 back then.
Yeah, like when me and Kurt reviewed this movie, we were like struggling to find out what school is that footage from.
Yeah, UCLA. Okay. So this is moving fast. This we have to watch because it's classic.
Oh yeah.
This is based on Tippi Hedren in The Birds, the final scene. Fabulous. Of course, I tweaked the music and sound effects a little bit for this version. You know, I couldn't help myself. But, you know, the scene in the attic with Tippi Hedren, all shot in close-up, the birds from a bunch of different angles, that's what I was going for in that one. And I love how that came out.
It's very classic horror. Quick cuts.
Someone like me.
And she had told Shishi that she'd cram that paper airplane down her throat. Well, things reversed, and Shishi crammed it down her throat instead.
Poetry. It rhymes.
How are you going to find a person under all that?
Sharon being nasty.
Oh, you guys still
Miss
here?
Challenger.
Is it right if I clean?
So the old janitor walks in on the
I'm just loosening up Sally a little bit.
student
I
teachers
was like in one hell of a good foot massage.
shtick.
Oh, yeah? Well, come on over here. I've never been this tense.
Love that line. So, you know, a little foot rub, you know, turns to a
You gotta
little
get some for the foot fetish people too.
vagina pat
Not
to to a nipple pinch. You know, it'll all progress from here.
an aggravation. Oh, God.
Actress of the year.
I love Sharon Kane. I mean, I got off with a bad start with her because of Boy Band.
You did. When I read some stuff early on, when I first discovered you, you did. You didn't. You were like not on the Sharon Kane bandwagon.
But once you realize it's a role, like Nancy is the worst character ever. I mean, she's amazing, but as a person, Nancy would be the worst.
Yeah. So this is that. See the Z on the wall, the Zeus
yeah,
Wrestling.
Z
So I don't know if
Wrestling.
they owned the studio and we just rented it by the day. I can't remember. I think they might have owned that studio at the time. But it was all one studio, and all these different areas looked like a school.
supposed to be back here.
Were you locked out then?
Yeah.
What the fuck do you want, you fat heifer?
Oh, you know that line. It's so mean. So you don't see it, but she pulls up her skirt here, showing her butt. Lets out some wind, and...
How did you do the... Did you pull
What?
them by wire, or did it just pretend to fall?
No, we tied rope around their waists.
Yeah, I was
tied
gonna
rope
say,
around
it
the
looks
waist
like
and-
they're fucking flying.
I know, it looked really good, didn't it?
You're now considered a trespasser.
You think you're so grand because you work out like
Yeah, we tied rope and we had some mats down so they would fall onto the mats.
someone took
Because it looks very good, and death by fart is always
Oh my god,
fun.
it's always, you know, an A+, right? It's always a crowd pleaser. So there I had to
yeah.
pull in, that's why it's blurry, because her boobs are showing.
your bones just by thinking about it.
So Miss
Yeah, I might
Challenger...
accidentally show her boobs on my YouTube channel. Anyway,
Ms. Challenger is so all about her perfect body, so that's how Chi-Chi gets her revenge on her, is by destroying that perfect body.
How about I put an end to your jogging days for good?
There goes the leg.
Psycho bitch. Get me done.
You better start talking nicer.
Not likely.
yeah, that's not gonna happen.
Fuck me. Fuck you.
Stop! Please! I beg you!
Not a chance, babe. I've just begun my little workout.
That's original music there. Of course, I would just be directing, I say, and freeze. You know, like the old Bewitch show, where they would just freeze and then the person would disappear. Of course, I love that
I mean,
show.
it looks good. Classic editing trick. This is also the music that's used in the zombie movie.
Fright
What's
Night
it
of the
called?
Living... not Fright
Night
Night.
of the Living by Dolls, thank you.
Night of the Living by Dolls. Yes, it is. Sorry, my phone's ringing. But I'm not going to answer it right now.
Good. We're busy making content. Can't pick up the phone. I might call too, but it was like spam.
Just some random closet in the studio. She could lock herself in. I mean, we kind of just, you know, would wing this part at the end, you know, by kind of just looking around to see what areas we had, and, you know.
Limitations brings out the creativity, or so they say.
Oh my god. And I don't know that you can really notice very much in here, but this is where she kind of breaks the bones in her hands. And I added that little crunchy noise in there. And then makes her face get older, but I don't know that it really shows that much. Well, maybe.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, you can see it.
Yeah, now that she doesn't look like that walking down the street every day. So,
Emperor
yeah, I guess.
Palpatine looking Sharon Kane.
Oh, and she's got the perfect little hairy mole, just like Shishi.
Rotten hell, bitch.
She's got some good deliveries.
You know, this is I feel so bad because all we did was say bad things to Shishi, and you know, it's like when you watch it all like this, when it's spread out over a number of days, you don't feel like it's so bad. But when you watch it all combined like this, you think, God, we're saying such nasty things to Shishi, and then I just feel bad, you know.
Yeah, no, that's understandable, but I mean, hopefully she realized it's a movie and it's all in good fun.
Oh no, she totally did. But you know, I mean, there was some lines there that were a little. I mean, it's just mean. I don't like being mean or saying mean things. So.
You know, it's a very mean movie, but don't be too hard on yourself. It's on the point of the meanness scale that it tips over into funny. Like, it's so ridiculously mean.
Yeah, and at least she got her revenge on the mean ones. She got revenge on the haters.
Yeah, and who doesn't want to date their gym teacher?
That's right. So it all ended well, and then she can go cast spells on him nonstop to make him never fall out of love with her. So that is Switchcraft. Well, it was actually really fun seeing that, you know, in its condensed version, that it actually plays pretty well and holds up over time.
Would you? I mean, it's a bit too late now, but did you ever consider making a sequel to Switchcraft?
That's one that I never considered making a sequel of. I think, I don't really know where it would go from there. It kind of, has its definite beginning, middle, and end, and that one probably not. I think that's a good self-contained one.
Yeah.
There's others like Hills Have Eyes in a split second. There's so much material there. There's so many ways I could go with that one, because basically the Beverly Hillbillies, take over Beverly Hills. So that one I could do more with, but this one I like it as its own kind of self-contained unit.
Yeah, no, not everything needs a sequel either, because it kind of just ruins the story eventually if you just keep
It does. Well, I didn't want to make part 3 of the Bye Dolls at all.
No, and then I'll make it a zombie movie.
Yeah, well, because I was kind of annoyed that I had to even make a third one. And I dragged my feet. He wanted me to do it, and it took like 4 years to do it because I just kept putting it off. And, I thought...
I mean, to be fair, the main characters were dead.
Everyone was dead. Shishi was dead too. So it was like everyone was dead. So it was like, well, what am I supposed to do with this? And then I thought, you know what? Screw it. If I'm going to make it, I'm going to just make it on my terms, hit or miss. It was either going to work or it wasn't. And then I also, because, they were always like saying, Sharon Kane's in everything. We need more assortment of women. I put Sharon Kane in 3 roles in that movie.
That movie has so much Sharon Kane.
Well, it's the 3rd movie. She plays 3 characters. It's like, you know what? And it was what it was. And then actually, I fell in love with it after the fact, and it was a lot of fun making it. But
it's definitely a fun movie. Like, it's so absurd. The zombie makeup is great. Steve Rambo is killer as always.
Mm-hmm. So I cut all 3 of those movies together, and I made I cut all the trilogy together: Valley of the Bye Dolls, Revenge of the Bye Dolls, and Night of the Living Bye Dolls. And I cleaned it up, I tweaked it, and put it on my YouTube channel, the Josh Eliot.
Link in the description below, everybody. Click the link and go subscribe to Josh.
Thank you. And it's a movie called Far Beyond the Valley, the complete Bye Dolls trilogy. So I'd love it, come by and watch it, pop some popcorn first. It's 95 minutes of bad behavior. And then also I just want to plug that I've been writing a blog for Bijou Video,
Yes.
up to my 14th blog. Myself and Will Seegers, who is a porn star from such classics as L.A. Tool and Die and Wanted with Al Parker back in the 70s. He writes the opposite weeks of me on bijouvideo.com, and then click on the menu and click on blogs, and we talk about a lot of little known information from back in the days when we were working on those porn sets. A lot of good photos too. So
a lot of good reading too. You're a good writer. It's very funny to read about the behind the scenes stories of the classics.
Well, and what's terrible is that I have like no filter. It's like, I'll just say, if it happened, I'll say it. And
Fuck filters. Speak from deliver.
That's right. And that could be a bad thing or a good thing, but you know what? I figure if I'm going to write a blog and I'm going to talk about these situations that happened, back in the day, I'm just going to say how it is. And what's great is it's an X-rated site, Bijou Video. They do all of the restoring of all the classic movies in their library. They're so intricate about their restoration process that it's really just an honor to be a part of their team.
Yeah, it looks like a great site. I mean, viewers beware if you don't like looking at penises. Might not be the site for you.
I might have to look somewhere else.
I mean, it's just a penis or 2 or 20. You can survive that. But it's definitely worth a read.
Oh, and their site has so much, and there's so much history on there. Tom DeSimone, I've done a couple of interviews him on behind the scenes stuff because he did a lot of work with Catalina Video. And all his entire library of adult movies is on the Bijou site. So they have all of his library, all of Steve Scott. He was probably like the Martin Scorsese of the porn films of the 70s, Steve Scott.
Really?
All the big classics. I'm telling you, I know you're not familiar with a lot of the 70s gay porn movies because you're more like in the 90s and stuff, but I'm telling you, the material you'd get out of the 70s movies is tenfold what you get out of more modern movies. It's just, I'm telling you, you should go on there and just watch their trailers because they have some, great trailers. Because it'll blow your mind. I mean, it's all history, which is great. So that's my little plug.
Oh yeah, plug away. That's why we're here. I mean, that's not why we're here. We're here to make good commentary. We should do a quick outro too before we ramble on more.
Well, all's well that ends. Oh, sorry. Go on.
No, let's do that one more time. You start.
Well, all's well that ends well. She gets the man.
And half the school is dead. So in the end, everyone is a winner.
Everyone wins.
All right, thank you so much for doing yet another movie commentary.
Thank you for showcasing it.
Leave a comment below if there's a movie you want us to do a commentary on, because well, there might be more in the future. You never know.
That's right. All right, Captain. Thank you so much.
Yeah, it's always a joy to have you on this channel. I can't believe I got from just talking about your movies to talking with the man himself. It's kind of unbelievable.
It kind of is. I know. And I'm enjoying every minute of it. Thank you.
All right. And I guess we'll see you next time. Please give me money, everyone. Bye-bye.